Good afternoon and welcome to another session or segment of Encouragement Thursday. Wherever you are at today, we are glad that you've chosen to join in and be a part of our time in the Word. Just a brief time today. We are in front of what will be the choir, and so exciting to hear. I just get to hear just a little bit of the choir singing and practicing, and it's such an exciting time as we think about just worshiping the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords together. And tonight is actually going to be that really long, the first of the really long sessions of practice. I think they're going to go from 6 to 9, and by the end of it all, Dan and Andrew, they're going to have them whipped into shape, I think. Is that right? Hopefully, yeah. And they've been working so hard, and I'm so excited to hear and to be able to worship together in this way. And so be praying for them. If you're not a part of the choir, so many of you probably are. Tonight from 6 to 9 is the first of these long practices, and I know it'll be a great time that they have together. But I was thinking about Jesus, as we so often want to be doing. And in Luke 19, we think about, as we enter into Palm Sunday celebration, we think about this triumphal entry into Jerusalem that Jesus has. And as I was thinking about all of that, I was thinking about one component that Jesus was all about that is so hard for us to be about, and that is consistency. Sometimes consistency can be very challenging. The race of life can get us weighed down, and we kind of lose that motivation. We get weary, we get tired, and sometimes it's hard to be consistent all the time. But one of the things about Jesus was that he was always the same. Yesterday, today, and forever, he's always the same. And that's what makes him spectacular. That's what makes him amazing, is that he was so consistent, true, loving, always. And it's so amazing. I remember I was thinking back, we've been talking about missions a lot in the life of Rolling Hills and how we are to be on mission for the gospel. And I was thinking about the first time that I went to Peru on mission, and we just had this amazing time where we would perform a drama. Now, I'm not really an actor, and you all know that, but we would perform a drama, and we would invite people in the town square or the town area. We would invite them to come in and watch the drama. And at the end, we would share the gospel through our testimony, through what Christ had done to us. And I remember one of the most incredible things that I got to experience there was people giving their life to Jesus Christ. And so we would go out, we would do the drama, we'd share the gospel, and then we would get to talk to people about surrendering their life to Christ. And it was incredible. It was amazing. And I thought to myself that first time especially, like, I want to come back. I want to continue that in America. And I got back and I found it so hard to continue on that same thread here like we did there. And it was such a disheartening thing to find myself failing, essentially, coming back and not being as fired up for the gospel, not sharing the good news like I should have, like we saw God do and saw God work through there in Peru. But then when I look at Jesus, when I think about Jesus, this was what's so incredible about him, is that whether it was here as people were celebrating him coming in, he knew probably that some of those would be on the opposing side not many days ahead. He probably knew where their hearts and their mind was. I know he did, as they were celebrating him at this time. And then a little while later, we find that Jesus is on the cross, and there are people spitting on him. There are people rejecting him. There are people smacking him. There are all kinds of these very intense persecutions that are taking place not long thereafter. So how do you go from celebrating to crucifying in such a short time frame? But yet what I see about Jesus is he's always the same. He's loving, he's faithful, he's compassionate. And so even on the cross, he says, Father, forgive them. And I just think that's incredible. I was thinking about Hebrews. I've been reading through Hebrews, and it says in Hebrews 13:8, Jesus Christ the same yesterday, today, and forever. And I think for us, I want to encourage you with that today, is that unlike me, who can go one place and fail to stay consistent and fail to stay fired up, Jesus isn't like that. Whether it was the people celebrating him or him on the cross, his love and his compassion and his truth and forgiveness is the same always. Like, even though we may fail and even though we fall short, Jesus still loves us, and he still paid the price for us, regardless of how many times we'll fall and will fail. And that's what makes him the awesome Savior that he is. I can't believe that he would love us the way that he does, that he would extend such grace and mercy. And it doesn't matter where we find ourselves. It doesn't matter how challenging. I've been talking to some folks at church, and they are going through a really hard time. But the one that is always faithful, no matter what we face, is the great King of Kings and Lord of Lords, is Jesus Christ. And I've been so encouraged as I think about Palm Sunday, that the fact that he knew, he loved, and he was faithful all the way to the end and forever. And he will continue to be that way for all of us as we strive to follow him. So I wanted to encourage you with that today. I know sometimes life can be heavy. I know it can be wearisome, but the Savior is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He is faithful. He was faithful to enter in. For that last time, he was faithful all the way through to the cross and to the empty tomb. And we need to celebrate him and serve him because of his faithfulness. So I hope that's been an encouragement to you today. Keep your eyes on Jesus, and I look forward to worshiping with you on Sunday.